Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. I&R spoilers. Kyle over Summer's drama, does what's best for Harrison. The Young and the Restless I&R spoilers reveal that Kyle Abbott, Michael Miller, has bent over backward to be understanding of Summer Newman's Allison Lanier. However, Summer isn't trying to make an effort when it comes to getting past Claire Grace's Haley Aaron past. Summer insists on keeping Claire away from Harrison Abbott, Redding Munsell. However, Kyle doesn't agree. Who will win out here? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Summer Newman is overreacting. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Summer has a right to be upset over Claire's attack on her family. However, this happened some time ago, and everyone has forgiven her at this point. Summer knows that even her grandfather has accepted Claire and moved her in at the Newman mansion. Claire has never done anything to harm Harrison, and likely never would. Harrison finds Claire a great support, and Summer needs to realize that. Claire is not exactly the best nanny candidate considering that she hasn't been out of the psych ward for very long. However, Claire and Harrison have bonded, which may be good for him. I&R spoilers. Kyle Abbott sees the connection with Claire Grace. Harrison was recently kidnapped, and Claire was taken along with him. Harrison also knows that Claire was hurt then too. Kyle sees the connection that their two have and realizes that Claire makes Harrison feel better. Harrison enjoys spending what time he can with Claire and would love to do it more. Harrison feels safe with Claire, and Kyle knows this. Kyle also knows that Claire loves to spend time with Harrison. Claire hasn't had a lot of family support throughout her life. Claire was even brainwashed by her Aunt Jordan, Colleen Zenk. Claire is like a child in some ways thanks to Jordan, and she and Harrison help each other. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Kyle Abbott pull rank on Summer Newman. Kyle has tried to give Summer time to calm down and get over her issues with Claire. However, on May 17, Kyle will override Summer's rules and do what he feels is best for his son. Whatever the case, Kyle is Harrison's biological father, and his right trumps Summer's in all ways as far as he is concerned. Kyle knows what is best for his son. Kyle may not be ready to hire Claire as Harrison's nanny, but that doesn't mean he is going to keep them from hanging out. Why should Kyle deny his son this opportunity when Kyle doesn't have an issue with Claire at all? How will Summer like being overruled when it comes to who is hanging out with Harrison? Be sure to catch up on everything happening with I&R right now. Come back here often for the Young and the Restless spoilers, news and updates. In the glamorous, high-stakes world of Genoa City, relationships often resemble a tempestuous roller coaster ride, and Kyle Abbott finds himself right in the eye of the storm. The recent upheavals involving his estranged wife, Summer Newman, and the subsequent impact on their young son, Harrison, have left him grappling with a series of difficult decisions. In the latest turn of events, Kyle's determination to shield Harrison from the drama and turmoil has led him down a path that may redefine his future and the very fabric of his family. Kyle had always been a doting father, his love for Harrison evident in every action he took. The boy, with his bright eyes and infectious smile, was the light of Kyle's life, the one constant amid the chaos. But the recent discord with Summer had cast a shadow over this bond. Summer's erratic behavior and the incessant arguments had created an environment that was anything but stable. As much as Kyle loved Summer, he knew that something had to change, for Harrison's sake. On a crisp spring morning, Kyle stood by the window of his penthouse apartment, looking out over the bustling city. The decision he was about to make weighed heavily on his mind. He had tried to make things work with Summer, but the constant fighting and the toxic atmosphere were taking a toll on Harrison. Kyle could see the confusion in his son's eyes, the way he clung to his toys a little tighter, the questions he didn't know how to ask. As he sipped his coffee, the bitter taste mirrored the bitterness in his heart. He knew what he had to do, but that didn't make it any easier. Kyle had reached out to a family therapist, seeking advice on how to best support Harrison during this tumultuous time. The therapist's words echoed in his mind. Children need stability and love. They need to feel safe. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to remove them from the source of the conflict. With a deep breath, Kyle made the call. He arranged for Harrison to stay with his grandmother, Jack Abbott, at the Abbott estate for a while. The estate, with its sprawling gardens and serene atmosphere, was a stark contrast to the tension-filled penthouse. It was a place where Harrison could run freely, explore nature, and be surrounded by family who loved him unconditionally. Later that day, Kyle sat down with Summer to explain his decision. It was not an easy conversation. Summer's eyes flashed with a mix of anger and sadness as she listened. She loved Harrison just as much as Kyle did, but her actions had inadvertently created an unstable environment. "You think sending him away is the answer?" she demanded, her voice shaking. "I think it's what's best for him right now," Kyle replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "He needs a break from all this, Summer. We need to figure things out without him getting caught in the middle." Tears welled up in Summer's eyes, but she nodded. Deep down, she knew Kyle was right. They had lost sight of what was truly important amidst their own struggles. As hard as it was to admit, this separation was necessary for Harrison's well-being. The next day, Kyle drove Harrison to the Abbott estate. The boy sat in his car seat, clutching his favorite stuffed animal, looking out the window with wide eyes. Kyle glanced at him in the rearview mirror, his heart aching. He wanted to reassure Harrison, to tell him that everything would be okay, but he knew words were not enough. His actions had to speak louder. At the estate, Jack greeted them with a warm smile and open arms. Harrison immediately ran to his grandfather, giggling as Jack scooped him up and spun him around. Watching them, Kyle felt a glimmer of hope. This was the right decision. Over the next few weeks, Kyle focused on getting his own life in order. He immersed himself in his work at Jabbett, the family company, and sought therapy to deal with his own emotions. He needed to be strong for Harrison, to show him that even when things got tough, they could still move forward. Summer, too, began to take steps towards healing. She attended counseling sessions and worked on her issues. The time apart gave her the clarity she needed to realize the impact of her actions. She missed Harrison terribly, but she understood that this was a chance for her to become a better mother. As the days turned into weeks, Kyle and Summer began to communicate more effectively. They attended co-parenting classes and learned to put aside their differences for Harrison's sake. It wasn't easy, and there were setbacks along the way, but they were committed to creating a stable and loving environment for their son. One sunny afternoon, Kyle visited the estate to spend time with Harrison. The boy was playing in the garden, his laughter ringing through the air. As Kyle approached, Harrison looked up and ran to him, his face lighting up with pure joy. Kyle scooped him up, holding him close.